All right, welcome back. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Thank you for always supporting this platform. Without any further ado, I do have the High Chief himself, the Chief Editor-in-Chief, the publisher of SharpEdgeNews.com, High Chief Oladimeji on the screen. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Ola. So good to be back. And I'm so delighted as well to welcome all our fans everywhere to this nice time. Do not forget, this is a weekly high-powered shot of informed commentary. The type you won't find elsewhere, whether in the drive-by or mainstream media. So welcome aboard.
All right, welcome. All right, so we do have a fantastic show lined up for you today, some stories around the world. But before we get into that, please, let's have this week's Sharp Edge special report, Sharp Edge News special report.
Thank you. We won't go too far. Let us again use the incident of the desecration of the palace in Ayedeogbese, the ultimate disrespect shown to the departed monarch of the community by no other person than Olori Olufunminejo, married to the Oluyede royal family. She has been headed and abetted by the government structure in Nigeria, our corrupt friends, and the people who have decided to turn the reputable profession of law into a kind of cult, through which after they must have benefited, ripped off the suffering masses of Nigeria by way of all kinds of phony and fraudulent projects. In this case, the stamp duty billions being investigated by the National Assembly. So part of that has found itself into the community of Ayedeogbese. This is what Olori Olufunminejo Oluyede has been using to destabilize the community. The process of this same deal. Originally, I do not want to go into the details of the personalities that were involved in this shady stuff that has dropped billions on the lap of Olori Olufunminejo Oluyede, a very dull and non-practicing attorney, only involved in the politics of joining others, also to want to destroy the Nigerian Bar Association at the time when she was the treasurer of that organization. And we said this mindful of what we want to do, the kind of lesson we want to teach the world through this individual who brazenly decided to capture the throne of the Alayede of Ayedeogbese. There are court papers. I mean, some of these papers you already have, and several of our fans all over the world have these court papers showing
It's
that whatever Olori Oluyede is doing today, tonight, the desecration, the abomination, the taboo she's committing, saying single-handedly she can bury the king, shutting out the royal hierarchy, the council of chiefs, the princes and princesses of the Oluyede royal family, and then in our parlance, you will call her Anukokperimuje, somebody who will kill a whole elephant and then eat it all by herself or himself. And she's aided and abetted by discredited, and now suspended High Chief Anufemi Fajembimo, Lisa of Ayede Ogbese. And they have been going around. Let me salute the courage and the sagacity, the unflagging, unwavering commitment and courage of the chiefs, the majority of the chiefs in Ayede Ogbese community. Unlike the Judas Iscariot amongst us, people like Onoja, so-called Chief Oloro. The other one who really does not belong in our kingdom, but has always found a way of coming around as a spy for all kinds of interests. The one they call Lisa Araromi. These are people who tonight have teamed up with Lisa to continue to perpetrate this sinister, dark, and shameful agenda of selling the community the royal stew cheaply for the whims and caprices of Olori Olufumi and her friends, misadventurous individuals, including the clergy. Money is always the motivation. Righteousness is never declared. Their prophecies is always about the doomsday, not even the time in which we live. No wonder the Bible talks of perilous times, the danger of the times in which we live. And so these people compromising. And I'm so surprised that the Chief Justice of Ondo State would subscribe to this kind of agenda, saying the remains of Kabiesi, because he was an accomplished lawyer, no doubt, should be paraded, laid in state at the premises of High Court in Akure, Ondo State, so that tributes could be paid to him. The question we ask, if the symbol of royalty, the king of the community where this so-called Chief Justice comes from, is going through this kind of situation, even let that king be a lawyer, would this Chief Justice, would he have approved of this parade? We have organized something that is in breach of royal protocol. Everybody has tried to convince Olori Olufumi Oluyede, the daughter of a Nejo, and then she, being a perpetual name dropper, egocentric as ever, who claim to be a descendant of the royal household in Mahi. I do not think a true daughter, a true princess of the Amakpetu illustrious family would do this. No doubt, they should go and do a DNA. I do not think that she belongs to that illustrious royal family. And these are futile attempts at whipping up sentiment to cause a division between those of us from Ayede Ogbese and probably Akure speaking nationality, and the people of Esodo. It's not going to fly, because at the end of it all, we have been able to shame her. We have been able to name her. We have been able to shame her, and everybody has seen the kind of person she is. And she was seen recently wearing agbada, Kitikupa, driving one of our impressive big vehicles. Of course, the women who are saying this woman is being maltreated, is the victim of traditional harmful practices. I think they are ill-informed. They do not know her like that, the way we do. We know her. We have been around her. Maybe any of them should wish that they would have her as a daughter-in-law, as a sister, or anything. This person lives for nothing other than humiliating people. Very huge ego. All her life, she disrespected her mother-in-law. Even attempted the life of her mother-in-law. People can be in denial, royal household, always there, want to maintain some urge silence, dignified silence. What is the essence of that? When somebody constitutes a present and what's it called? Dangerous presence for the society. You do not hurt such an individual, you do not name and shame them, and then you think you are protecting the dignity of a family. We refuse. I'm not that kind of a royal personality. I'm not that kind of a high chief. You are irresponsible, I'll tell you are. So if the mother-in-law had died during the several attacks launched on her by this so-called Olori, these so-called women lawyers who have nothing in common other than their ego, non-existent prestige. So how would they have classified that? The thousands of women that this woman organized into Women Vanguard in Ayede Ogbese, whom at every point, little excuse, she would want to humiliate, disgrace, would even want to traffic them abroad, would be telling them to go and bring their passports, and she knows, it's a tool for control. She's not taking them anywhere. And that is the person they call a responsible lawyer, a so-called lawyer. Her inspiration, the only person she admires is the Oluwo of Iwo. And that's the agenda she wanted to push in Ayede Ogbese. But thank God for the heroic resistance of Ayede Ogbese, sons and daughters, elders and young ones, home and abroad, who continue to resist her. The matter is in the Court of Appeal. Whatever they are doing now is just a parade of shame. Those who go there, I encourage other than those of us chiefs who have boycotted everything they are doing, the members of Oluyede Royal Household too have boycotted whatever shame she's parading. The money she's spending, the money she's wasting, of course, it's very expensive to defend falsehood. That money came from Nigeria's treasury. It came from the Nigerian public. The poor should go there and eat up everything she's providing. After all, the illustrious friends of the departed king are not showing up. They have told us they are not coming. They do not want to be a part of anything that is caused. They do not want to be part of anything that does not dignify the tradition and custom of the Yoruba race. So they are boycotting. So when people like that do not come, the poor, the lame, the blind, the deaf, those who cannot see, they will go there. Other than the man that has been outed and described and always tagged and characterized as Wobia, the Lisa. That is the name this Olori calls Lisa. And Lisa has been told a parable by the Commissioner of Police of Ondo State. The Commissioner of Police at a meeting with elders and princes, chiefs of Ayede Ogbese last Tuesday. In his office said, you people know that if I cook for you now, you will finish the meal at a sitting. But if all of you, your community, cook for him, he won't be ever able to exhaust or finish the food. A word for the wise. Lisa has agreed to play the game of Judas Iscariot against our community. He stands suspended. Everybody knows this. And the Akure North local government, everybody, wherever they extend to him all kinds of privileges arising from the office, would have to be withdrawn. We will never cooperate with him. We will never cooperate with the stooge they are going to install. Now that the Olori is parading herself in Agbada, everybody knows that the daughter is not going to be the regent to that stool. The Olori wants to continue to implement a Jezebelian, she's Jezebel, straight out of the ancient biblical past. She wants to use her magical powers, her sorcery, to continue to manipulate. And for the youthful idiots going around, that's why I celebrate our chiefs, their heroic resistance. They have been offering them money. Come and take 4 million. After the the rejected pack come on the throne, you'll be given another 2 million. Your money, your loot perish with all of you. Ayede Ogbese people are not that. Ogo Okowari. And you know, ultimately, the consciousness of Ogbese, Orifo, Ajagomi, Ofirikoko, is maintaining a looming presence over the community, and the throne is able to defend itself. And I celebrate the Oluyede family, the royalty of our community. I celebrate all the chiefs. I celebrate the committed chiefs, the committed youth, everybody in the community. Thank you for standing firm. And people like Olajide Oladumoye can continue to do their false isheshe. Good luck to them. The future will judge. Thank you.
Àtótó arẹ́rẹ́kẹ́ tí ọmọ ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ pátá àtolúlé àtàlejò olóyè gíga ọládìmẹ̀jì abítógun ọ̀dọ́ pẹ́tùtù lọ ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ lórúkọ òdílé ọba olúyẹdé àti ohun wàrẹ̀fà lífọ̀ ẹ̀mẹ̀sùn kẹ̀jẹ́ bá o ẹ̀sùn kẹ̀jẹ́ fọ olóyè kan péré nínú wàrẹ̀fà mádélé jẹ́ ẹ̀mẹ̀síbí kò lórí aya òlú ti di afọbajẹ́ o kété òdájọ́ olú ẹjọ́ ni ẹ̀mẹ̀sójú náà òdájọ́ nínú o ìmọ̀ọ́mọ̀jọ́ mú búrẹ́dì kó alómi ọbẹ̀ jẹ́ o kété rí alímọ̀fọ́ kábíyèsí aláyélúwà ọkọ òlú ti gbéṣẹ̀ ó dèwọ̀ ó dẹjọ́ mẹ́rin ọjà káàdì sí olórí yanu kan ṣẹyẹ òkẹyìn kọkọ òlú ẹ̀mẹ̀sùn kẹjẹ bá a o káàsì àárín káàtì àṣẹ àmọ̀là rẹpẹ́ ìjà ní sùúrù ká mọ̀ jà ká mọ̀ òǹṣọ̀kan ká gbé nínú rẹ́pọ̀ kọ́mọ̀bà mọ́rọ́ àsẹ̀yìn ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ àgbè á o olóyè ọ̀làdìmẹ̀jì abítógun ọ̀dọ̀pẹ̀tùtù láyédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ lẹ́fọ̀ọ́mi ṣùkéré ń wò.
ayé kò jíjẹ́ pamọ́ mi kéèké o.
ayé ló padà bẹ́ẹ̀ ìrọ́sì ni ayé ò ní padà kádánù orí omi kásàrò sáàrin ọjà kádojú àṣàbolẹ̀ kó lórí o máa nájà oko kí ẹyọ ìjòyè kan ṣoṣo láàrin ìlú sọ ara rẹ̀ di bàbá mi sì kó wọn afọbajẹ ó ṣèrìwọ̀ èyí ni gbogbo ìlú àti àwọn ìjòyè nílùú ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ fi ń kéde wípé àwọn ti pe ẹjọ́ kòtẹ́milọ́rùn ní court of appeal láti tako ìdájọ́ ilé ẹjọ́ gíga ti ìlú àkúrẹ́ lórí ẹjọ́ tó dá wípé lísà ìlú ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ lè dá nìkan sí òkú ọba aláyédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ kí ó sì dá yan adelé lẹ́yìn àwọn ẹ̀yà rẹ̀ ìlú ìgbésẹ̀ yìí lòdì sí àṣà ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ohun ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ ìlú ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ kò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí àwọn ń fi àsìkò yìí rọ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àríwá àkúrẹ́ àti gbogbo ẹni ọ̀rọ̀ kàn láti má ṣe gbé ìgbésẹ̀ kankan lórí ipò ọba ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ títí tí ilé ẹjọ́ kòtẹ́milọ́rùn yóò fi dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ náà ọ̀dọ̀ pẹ̀tù ìlú ayédè ọ̀gbẹ̀sẹ̀ àti gbogbo àwọn ìjòyè yòókù àni olùkéde.
ayé kò jíjẹ́ pamọ́ mi kéèké o.
All right, that was the Sharp Edge News Special Report of the week. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get into some of the stories of the week. We're done with the weekly Sharp Edge News Special Report. I don't know if I pronounced this properly. His name is OZEKHOME.
Yes, you got it. Mike OZEKHOME.
Mike OZEKHOME.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor of Law, titled Traditional Chief, etc., etc., and Human Rights Crusader.
Right. So he's, I feel like I've seen him alongside the SAN Femi Falana in some other.
Yeah, he moves in some other
space.
He moves in some dignified, respectable, and illustrious circles. Remember him when he was kidnapped and released by whether bandits or kidnappers at the time. When he was released, he was asking and campaigning seriously for amnesty for all bandits and kidnappers in Nigeria. And then some of us were also joking, although it was a serious issue. we were also joking that now we send the barrister Michael OZEKHOME this kind of message at whose commission, but you know, he was highly traumatized, but he's a committed Nigerian.
Okay.
And remember 1986, he was in the vanguard of demanding or taking the Babangida administration to court on this lingering subsidy removal of payment crisis. So I yield.
Okay, great. So he has history. There's a report here on the Whistler.ng that says a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, Mike OZEKHOME, has said Nigeria is in need of a new constitution that reflects present realities and the needs of the people in order to make progress as a country. The human rights lawyer made this known on Sunday while speaking as a guest on Channel's television Politics Today program. OZEKHOME said President Bola Tinubu should have the political will to change the constitution and ensure that within his tenure the country can get a new constitution which will be subject to referendum. And I quote, the president should have the political will to change the constitution because these problems will not go away until we tackle it headlong, the senior lawyer said. On whether a new constitution is the new solution to the numerous challenges facing the country, he said it is. The killings you're seeing, the poverty, the corruption, they're all symptoms of a larger problem, which is the basis of which we are talking about. When you solve it, other things will be in place. According to him, the 1999 Constitution was military imposed and not subject to any referendum. He said Nigeria needs an indigenous and people-centric constitution to redirect the country's quote-unquote journey of no destination. OZEKHOME said Nigeria is a country still yearning for nationhood. We're not united. The brand new constitution must be subjected to the referendum of the people. We have to have a constituent assembly and all the National Assembly can pass a law in that regard. Then the draft constitution will now be signed by Mr. President and we will have a constitution. So I have a big question, right?
Right.
I was at a barbecue with my in-laws yesterday and they are adamant. I know you hung out with them some few weeks back about the Yoruba nation, you know, and in fact, he was saying that they told Tinubu that like that's not the direction we wanted you to go. We want you to come and lead us. That means Yoruba people, not this old thing of a mess, quote unquote, called Nigeria. So my question is also, I also noticed Shore also talks a lot about, Omoyele Shore, he talks a lot about the Constitution and the Constitution being a scam. So I saw this today, it's trendy. I wanted to get your take on the 1999 Constitution. How bad exactly is this Constitution?
Okay, let's take it one after the other. It's so bad to the extent that that constitution was tailor-made to put Sani Abacha up as the strongest head of state, head of government, on the face of the earth. And over time, that heritage, the deficient document is what has been the operational code, the operational manual for successive leadership and administrations, and each person that steps into the office steps into the Nigeria presidency, operating the Constitution of 1999 as it is known, whether amended or intact as it was originally, will be operating as a strong man, not as a statesman. That is the number one scam about the Constitution. Then it was something that was virtual. Yes, people were invited, a constituent assembly was convoked, and people came. There was a talk shop, but our representative were the people that sat to draft the constitution. So you look at what the patriots, people like Dr. Tunji Abayomi, the current pro-chancellor of the university in Akumba, the Adekunle Ajashi University in Akumba, people like the late Professor Ben Nwabweze and Chief Mike OZEKHOME. I mean, every other person involved in the current project seeking a new arrangement that will produce a more authentic, a more representational document that will reflect the preamble, we, the people. That is what they are talking about. And what was foisted on Nigerians, what was handed down to Nigerians, the unpicked so-called wise men who drafted this. We knew some of them one-on-one, fine, nice gentlemen as they were. But the issue is they were acting at the behest of the military administration of the time. And do not remember all 5 political parties in Nigeria at that time that was infamously referred to or tagged as the 5 leprous fingers of Sani Abacha by the late Attorney General and Minister of Justice of Nigeria, Chibola Ige. Do not for all of them were pushing for a situation in which all 5 political parties in Nigeria, something very novel then, something unprecedented, unknown to Nigeria as a country, they all were pushing. They were going to endorse General Sani Abacha as their sole presidential candidate. Whoever you find on the scene, whether it was Tunji Braithwaite from GDM, all kinds of characters, political gladiators coming on the platform of UNCP, DPN, NCPN, CNC, all of them, they dared not, they could not stand Abacha in the face. Otherwise, they would take bullets from people like
we must well say, say they have a gun to their head, making this document.
Practically so. Practically so. And, you know, it was the worst dictatorship Nigeria ever witnessed. So that is what produced the document. And so if Yowora is saying something about it being a scam, yes, I agree completely. If Chief Michael OZEKHOME is saying that, and Baba Emeka Ayako, the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth Nations, you know, a loose confederation of former British colonies, maybe about 56 or more of them coming together. Baba Ayako used to be the Secretary General. He is asking for a constituent assembly that would produce a more edifying, a more reflective, and something much more conscious of our identity, so emblematic of our input as a nation. And ideas should also include the input of Nigerians in the diaspora, because the way we are being treated at the moment is almost like Nigerians going
second
back
class.
Not even that. Almost being like you are seen off at the point of departure,
Like bye.
you were crossing the point of no return during the slave the slave trade age. They don't want to see you back in your community anymore, and you dare put, make a contribution in terms of debate, informed commentary, or join in peaceful protest, you are tagged a foreign mercenary.
Right.
So everybody would have to come on the table, and I agree with all these people. See, I was still only 54. What can you, other than my contribution in the media and impact around my family, what would you say Nigeria has allowed people like us to contribute? And when you are even there, you are contributing meaningfully to efforts at enlightening the public and making sure that the civil society is alive and well. Somebody is nursing the ambition of sending contract killers after you. This is one thing that I've noticed firsthand. Yes. So, Baba OZEKHOME, Chifemeka Yaku, Femi Falana, Jowore, the Agbakobas of this world, and Sheikh Sani, all of them, they mean well. And when Nigerian youths come out to say that, oh, this is not the way we want this country to go, let us all debate it. They are tagged as a foreign agent, you know. And by the way, you see the way people are being paraded, saying, oh, some Polish citizens, Poles, people from Poland have been arrested for sloganeering or being behind the protest in which Russian flags are. You know, Nigerians are gullible. Do Russia and Poland have a cordiality at the moment? I mean, Poland is in some serious fear that that country may be the next to be invaded after Ukraine. And now people in Nigeria are not trying to engage in some critical thinking process, challenging the claim that the people that have been arrested, Polish citizens in Nigeria, that they are there to champion the interests of Russia. There is no commonality between Russia and Poland on the international stage at the moment. So why are they linking the incongruous facts? So all these are the things that must come on the table, even as we embrace the advocacy and the struggle of the patriots who want a better, more fulfilling, and encompassing ground norm constitution for the country, in which the truth of the preamble with the people would be given real expression and truthful reality.
Yeah. Now to the Yoruba Nation part of it, of that.
Yes, the Yoruba Nation part of it. Honestly, so they are saying Tinubu should pull out of the federal arrangement and come back and lead Yoruba Nation. Would they have loved what Tinubu is visiting on the entire Nigerian nation? Would they have loved that to be foisted on Yoruba Nation? And then who told them that Yoruba Nation pulling out of the entire Nigerian arrangement would fare better? The same predators, the same praying politicians that you find on the national stage, you want to come back home. Were they not operating in a Western region? Have they not been operating in the different states of Western Nigeria? I do not share that opinion. And you look at the people that are agitating at times, apart from people like Mayegun of this world in Scotland and all kinds of other people. Are you going to buy into the scam that was originally initiated by Professor Akintoye and Onitiri and all of them? Yes, I support good governance. I mean, the agitation for good governance. Yoruba Nation I do not know, because in the final analysis within us Yoruba, you find out that some section of the country, and I love our unity. I do not want, but the reality is that when push comes to shove, are they not going to tell some people that you are from Iluoke? Would the Ekiti or Ondo State man not be pushed aside? Because I remember people will say, Ojeri and Ondo State as Ekiti. Ekonlagidi ni Emoleja.
It gets real. It gets real.
Would they not prefer the Oles amongst us?
Right, because there's already at least 4 or 5 states with different regions, even within the. So if division is the issue, division will continue to be the issue.
See, this division of a thing. For example, you say Yoruba. How is we should fare in under our local government?
Exactly.
How did
within the same local government?
And Obaile, how did they fare under the old big Akure local government place?
Yeah.
This is a utopia that we are chasing, thinking a Yoruba nation will end all worries and agitations. I mean,
there was one question I asked him, and that was with regards to is Tinubu willing to let go of the oil to come and lead Yoruba people? Is there enough oil in those states?
And the oil in Ondo State, do you think the Akwois, the Ilajes, the Kales, the core owner of the oil resources there, you think they will also let go for Tinubu?
Exactly.
You need to be there. Do
they feel like they are authentic Yoruba? And would they be accepted as authentic Yorubas?
They are authentic Yorubas. They are real Oduduwa descendants. Or
no, I'm talking about when the show. How do you say? When it gets down to it. When the push gets to the shove.
That's right.
Right.
You will be hearing all kinds of stories. I was about the youngest individual who submitted a paper for local government creation when we were asking for new local governments, I think in 1997. And that was what culminated in the creation of Ekiti State and Akure North local government, etc., etc.
Right.
I remember the Agadagba, the Arogo people, their monarch, when the Olubo said, "Oh, these people have always been my traditional tenant," and the Agadagba monarch said, "My lord," addressing the chairman of that august body that received all of us at the then Ondo State House of Assembly in Akure, that, "My lord, that is quite unfortunate and is a disaster." I'm paraphrasing what transpired in my presence there. I had come with a position paper asking that Ayede be made a local government headquarters to whatever arrangement was going to evolve. Of course, we never, we were never made a local government headquarters. I think because of some liaison between the son of Oladipo Dia, the then chief of staff, and some other family in Iju. The local government headquarters was sited in Ijita Ogbolu, the place that is known as Okeagbe, between the two communities. So the boundary line, so to say, in English. So the point I'm making is that you will find all these primordial sentiments bubbling up. And people
even in the smallest of communities, even within the same village.
It's not going to be strange. All we are saying is that there must be some serious discussion, some serious debate, some sovereignty about the process or processes that will produce a workable constitution for Nigeria. Yoruba nation, well, good luck. I just want Nigeria that works for everybody.
Exactly.
Because there is strength in huge numbers, in huge population. whatever we look at as diversity that should undermine whatever arrangement we have, should actually add to the strength of our emergence as a strong nation on the face of the earth. Not just among black people, but in the community of all races, all nations.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Let's get into this next segment. Check it out. Check it out. I'll be right back.
Really, really violent people. And we're going to get them out of our country, and we're going to get them back to where, because they were sent here by the presidents and by the various people that run those countries. And I know every one of those guys. And they're smart people, and they're streetwise people. And they really think that the USA is stupid.
You can hear that, right?
By stupid people, and they happen to be right.
Okay, let's hear a little bit of that.
We had no problem. We got them out. We took out thousands of MS-13 gang members. We brought them back. And now, again, it's the same old story. We don't do it. And they
just in case you're wondering what we're listening to, we're listening to actually a live space on Twitter as we speak.
And
so there's actually a live space going on Twitter. Twitter. Trump is back on Twitter.
I hope everybody's
X,
interviewed by Elon Musk.
And I didn't need
yes,
this.
Yes. So let's hear a little bit of it, and then we'll talk.
I didn't need to go through court systems and go through all the other stuff and run at the same time. I have to run. I have to go through fake trials with, in some cases, corrupt judges, totally corrupt judges. I didn't need it. I had a nice life. I have great locations. I have beautiful oceans that I have places. But I felt it was important. And if I had to do it over again, you probably think I'm crazy for doing it, actually. But if I had to do it over again, I would have done it over again, because this is so much more important than me or my life. We're going to save this country. This country is going down. And these people are bad people that we're running against, and they're liars. They make statements. They do things that are so bad. They say they're going to make a strong border. They say they've been great on the border, and they've been the worst in history. They say they're going to stop crime.
Like, the facts speak for themselves.
It's so incredible.
Speak for themselves. Like it's got to the point where people just don't even bother reporting crime in a lot of cities because they know nothing is going to happen. That's what I hear anecdotally from people all the time. So it's just my values. I'm just saying to people out there, like the things I think are important for the future is, like, we've got to have safe cities, we've got to have secure borders, we've got to have sensible spending, and we've got to have deregulation, and so we can have a prosperous future. And then we want to have some exciting, sort of moonshot projects that people can get fired up about, and that's the future I'm looking for. And I'm pro-environment, but I'm not against. I'm not like I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry, because they're keeping civilization going right now, and but I do think we want to move at a reasonable speed towards a sustainable energy economy. Those are my values, and I think and so I mean that's why I'm supporting you for president.
Oh, can you hear me?
We're gonna make.
You couldn't hear me, right?
I'm hearing everything. Even what Elon Musk is saying.
No, but you could. You can now hear me now for the first time. I was talking before, you didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm back now. Sorry. All right. So, but you can't hear Elon Musk. I muted him now, right? Correct.
You don't hear about the American dream anymore.
I'm hearing Donald Trump now.
Right now, as I speak.
But you don't hear about the American dream anymore.
Uh-oh.
And you're going to hear
all
about
right.
it.
So my mute button doesn't work. That's interesting.
To go out and
let's see.
And they're going to love their lives. I mean, they're going to look forward to getting up in the morning and going to a job.
All right. So
not
let me do
job
this.
that they can't stand.
I can stop sharing now. You should stop hearing them now, right?
Yes, it has
Okay.
stopped.
Okay.
At any rate, let me my initial thought.
Your initial thoughts, yes. Let's
this is the meeting of two like minds, and what makes them two like minds?
Mm-hmm.
The ancestry of either of these two men.
Mm-hmm.
The antecedent. Of course, Elon Musk was born by white ancestors in South Africa.
Correct.
He's supposed to be a fellow, but what is the legacy of those people that gave birth to Elon Musk in South Africa. They subjugated and made a black population of that country subservient. Years of apartheid, minority rule over the vast majority of colored people and blacks were the worst, because people were related with as a mere statistic, mere color bias, and what have you. And knowing what we know about the ancestors of Donald Trump in America here, the support for the Ku Klux Klan, about the discriminatory practices of the real estate business of Donald Trump in the past, and then his encouragement of extremist neo-Nazis that got on the street 2017, and the lives were lost, and he came out to say, they were fine on all sides. Or you want to talk of his recent appearance before our association, National Association of Black Journalists in Chicago, and the attempt at mischaracterizing and defining the identity of another citizen of this country, not minding his own damn business. So you have them there. So what are they going to espouse to the world? The only advantage Elon Musk has is that he bought Twitter, and he could use that for the first time in almost, since Donald Trump was banned from Twitter. It's giving him this generous platform tonight. And Donald Trump has been blacked out of the media, has been completely overrun by the National Democratic Committee's campaign in the last 3 weeks. He's been gasping and struggling for breath, the breath of his political life.
So it's his first time coming out.
So he's being rehabilitated at the moment, struggling, and he's demarketing America. I heard him saying, "Oh, this country is in decline." And he is always trying to demarket America. What love does he have for this country? But there is a joyous ride on the planes and everywhere. Some team, the Kamala Wall Party, the train, is moving, and it's a joyous war. And for the first time, the excitement is palpable, is in the air. And so, whatever you now want to ask me about Donald Trump, let us roll. But these are my initial thoughts. These are my initial thoughts.
Right. So I was on, I was on the show. No, not on the show. I was listening to the Twitter space before we started the show, and they were talking about inflation. And he made a point about inflation is caused by governments basically writing big checks that can never bounce, and they are spending beyond their means. And unlike a personal check, if you write more than what you have, it can potentially bounce, right? But the government check is basically perpetual overdraft, and they can spend as much as they can. It will never bounce, but you and I will have to pay for it in the form of inflation and in other ways. So that's what he was talking about. As he was talking about that, Trump kept bringing up some other stuff. The conversation was not quite congruent as you would expect. It
will never be. And you can also expect that kind of conversation to be at the level of grade 3, grade 4 stuff, unless unless Musk is not trying to.
Musk seems like he was trying to do a lot of that, like almost like, okay, let's uplift, let's bring it up to this level.
Well, he's an impossible guy. It will be an impossible situation. Even look at the other day, Sean Hannity was trying to make him responsible enough to distance himself from a type of situation, he continued to embrace it. He continued to.
Right.
Yeah, it's so difficult to manage.
So in one breath, he's praising Tesla, you know, and all of the work of Musk, which is not obviously it's about energy,
efficiency,
the new energy efficiency, renewable energy. But it's like even though, but there's a lot of even though he was trying to praise it at the same time support the stupid talking point around there's no need and then
fossil oil.
Right,
and
fossil oil.
One thing he also forgets is that yes, you're talking of electric cars everywhere, the emerging trend. But would that car exist completely without some input from petroleum byproducts? You're talking of the paint on the car. You're talking of the casing for the battery that you use. These are petrochemical products. So
somebody, let me say this before I'll let you run, right?
Right.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, right? In one breath, it's saying they seem to disagree on this, but they won't outright say it. He's saying that oil is not going to, like, there's not enough oil to continue forever, right? That eventually they're gonna run out of oil, right? That's what Elon Musk said, and then
possibly so.
Right, and then Trump came back and said, "Hey, but it could take us for another 500 years or so." So they kind of like brush over it very quickly because it almost seemed like it was going to be a point of disagreement.
A more journalistic endeavor would have pushed back to challenge the scientific basis for that claim. That
which one of the claims?
The 500 years. Yes. Thing for oil reservoir in the world, because this is a guy who has not even excelled in anything in life, including the so-called claim of being acclamation of being a billionaire. From what we know now, he's never been a billionaire. He doesn't belong in that club, and so now he pretends to have some intellectual clout. Where is that coming from? So if you allow scientists, experts in that field, you know, and where we come from originally in Nigeria, we have such experts, such technocrats in abundance, and America is not in short supply of same. So if you allow them, if you allow
to do the interviews,
experts to not just to voice that kind of opinion. Okay. We don't know if what the world has in a fossil oil reserve, if it will last 500 years or if it's going to be over and done with in the next 5 years. We just don't know. So we allow the experts to do the calculation, and then we take a cue from there.
I see. What's your overall take on this conversation that's ongoing right now?
Yeah, well, we see Elon Musk has thrown this guy under the train once. He had gone to the entire world to claim that, Elon Musk will be giving me like $45 million every month. And Elon Musk said, whoa.
Like, whoa. From where?
Where is that coming from? It's probably made up by whoever put it out there. So this is a way for them to make up. But, Elon Musk, his appeal is in the billions he had. When you talk of deep political thinking and reasoning, I think the man still needs to go back to school. That is the way I look at it, because he is supporting a failed agenda at the moment. So what is it going to sell to the world? Is it Project 2025 or the one that is disowning the vice presidential peak, then who doesn't seem to get it right and is talking in a condescending way about childless people or cat ladies and what have you, not minding also the fact that is always in romantic hug with his couch and all that. So, all said and done, let's see how hard he can push, how hard he can try. After all, you talking of maybe engaging over 1 billion people tonight through X, otherwise known as Twitter.
Right, about 1.3 million people are alive at the time, so it's probably
that's it. So you can be sure that at some point, Donald Trump will embrace his usual modus operandi and be a huge turnoff to a lot of people. Good, nice try, but I don't think this is going to rehabilitate him completely, because what is coming from Agenda 2025, the heritage think tank, is so horrible, it's terrible, it's almost like a doomsday situation.
Everybody have been talking about that. I reviewed a little bit of it, but maybe someday we'll go into it more.
Yeah, we also dealt with it the other day, and that document in itself is horrible, it's terrible. You are talking of takeover of a Supreme Court. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until the document becomes, but don't let me even wish that it becomes the reality, because
Chia says that the project 2025 is dead on arrival.
Please, that is my prayer as well. I agree totally. I agree totally. Yeah.
So a few hours ago, before they started, it wasn't able to start on schedule.
Like, can you imagine the possibility of a scrapping Department of Education? Can you imagine that these people will take over the civil service, and whatever becomes the whims and caprices of President Trump becomes the operational word code for the entire nation?
Can you imagine?
And so many other things, including the possibility of not talking about reproductive freedom anymore. So it's like they always, Republicans in the past will condemn the possibility of the Reds, that is communist coming. They will control your life and all that. But this is even worse than that. And I'm a Christian, but their own brand of Christianity is so strange. The one that says you cannot show love to your neighbor who wants your protection, who wants refuge. No. Come on. Let's talk of something else. These guys are jokers.
So some few hours ago, when they were about to start, they couldn't start on time because apparently now they are claiming there was an attack on X, formerly known as Twitter.
I beg to disagree. 3 days ago, there was this unproven claim of attack on Donald Trump's facility by Iran. It's the one that, anyway, each time, I think on the average, it lies like 30 times per second. So what are you going to believe about this man? So possibly so, but I'm taking a bet on the fact that they were just trying to shun out another propaganda. Yeah, there must be that pity party. The other day, an attempt on his life that has now weakened a bit. Iranian attack on his facility. Now is an attack on X.
So as of
no content.
This is a quick conclusion update at about 8 minutes ago, directly on New York Times. They said Elon Musk, the owner of the X platform, was a sympathetic interviewer. That doesn't sound good. And the former
that's what we just said the other time. That's what we just said.
Right. And the former president rattled off familiar lines from his stump speech.
That is a route. See, is a route. You know what is called route learning?
Tell me, please.
For example, if somebody is a pupil under a mandras that is an Islamic scholar,
like a puppet,
like an Amagiri, a pupil.
Okay, a pupil. Okay.
There is this process of route learning. You repeat and repeat and repeat. No new thing to say. So shallow concerning policy content. So this guy is been seen in his true color. He took the country for a ride for granted 2016. It's not going to be like that. No easy ride to the White House this time around.
Even Biden is determined. Even Biden is determined to the extent of giving off his second term. But anyway, this person said,
this is how you know somebody that is committed to the larger goal than somebody who is egocentric and is pursuing narrow agenda.
Right. Former President Donald J. Trump on Monday night used a discussion on X with Elon Musk, the platform owner and the world's richest man. The interview, which was delayed for 40 minutes by technical issues and extended for just over 2 hours, covered little new ground, with Mr. Musk proving a sympathetic questioner who agreed with Mr. Trump's claims and stayed out of the
New York
former...
Times should use, you see, I don't like us Nigerian language experts, grammarians, and journalists or pro stylists at times. I think it was the revered.
It's like they listen to us. What you're saying?
Yeah, the revered material of the journalism in Nigeria, Dele Giwa, that used to help New York Times in those days, and that was how he got his job with them. Now, tonight, let me also play that card on the New York Times. New York Times should not be talking of sympathetic journalists or whatever. We call them protocol journalists. Yes, easily they differ, they genuflect, they are always fidgeting, and they would bow and tremble before anybody. So, Mr. Musk is just kissing up to this man's rear end instead of giving him a kick in the butt.
All right, we're gonna have to dig in deeper on that on a different day. I think that's that. I don't think there's much to say about. Rambling is going up over there.
Compare between his outing with Elon Musk and what happened at the NABJ thing, where those heroic lady journalists pounced on him and they
he was dragged the very first minute. He didn't like that.
And he kept going back, trolling and just filming and throwing his usual tantrum, describing that journalist as being nasty, being hostile, but the damage was already done.
From the very second.
He went
very first second.
Oh, I would do this to them right at their own forum, but he ended up meeting his Waterloo there.
Anyway, check out this next segment. Let us know your thoughts about this. We're just trying to pay attention just like you. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Check out this next segment. All right, so now you being the English expert, the Prestige family dragged me the other day for saying segment and not segment. They think is it segment or segment?
Segment.
Which one? Segment. With the G or the G, with the G or the Yoruba G?
Segment.
Segment. As in Segi segment.
Segmental.
Kobosi, it's segment.
Who is
I say segment. I say segment.
What is segment? The word is seg.
No? Okay. All right. If you say so. I'm sticking with my...
drag you. It's simple. I
think that's the Nigerian pronunciation. I think I'm using the American. Obviously, American
even
is more
Americans
authentic.
will not say segment. They may not really articulate that... the one you call G there.
So
the consonant there? Would not be that strong. It will not be that stressed. So
they've started again. They're in the chat now. They say it's segment, not segment.
It's a segment, yes, it's segment, but you don't let it come so thick. You don't. You don't. Yeah, just
segments.
No, not segments. Segments.
Okay, so is it develop or develop?
Develop.
So it's develop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't let it come so thick,
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right, we'll go see Sha. Anyway, let's get into this.
You are coming from the background of science and tech, so we can pardon you.
English is not my first language.
Well, I don't know. I don't know when you became what's it called? So mate with SSP. Because it's not your mother language, but now that is the official language of your country, is that why you would shy away from speaking it properly?
Of course, Chinyere says develop. She says the first develop because you're Chinyere. That's why Igbo people always say Chin develop.
Please do not let us sink into that kind of hole.
Don't go there. Okay, all right. Let's come back.
Please.
Let's come back. Sharp Edge News. Sharp Edge. When we get to Prestige Family, we'll do that here. Anyway, welcome back. We're talking about OSINBAJO slams prosperity gospel. Advocates for something better. There's a report here on Punch News. I'm going to read a little bit of it, and then I want to know your thoughts on this. Right?
I think I watched him live.
You watched him live? Do you want to just speak to it?
No, but read on, please.
Okay. All right. Former Vice President Yemi OSINBAJO urged churches in Nigeria to reassess their priorities and shift focus from wealth accumulation and prosperity to the promotion of peace, productivity, and community development. You see, if I didn't read that, I would have taken it out of context. Speaking on Saturday at the 68th anniversary and 58th annual convention of the Gospel Faith Mission International in Ogunmaki, Ogun State, OSINBAJO argued that the current obsession with material wealth among some religious leaders has alienated many, particularly youth, who seek more meaningful messages from the pulpit. He stressed that churches have neglected their true calling, promoting peace, unity, and societal development, and must return to their roots, preaching values like hard work, compassion, and community service. The ex-VP said, if we truly want to see Nigeria rise again, the church must shift its focus, inspiring people to become agents of positive change rather than mere consumers of prosperity gospels. OSINBAJO highlighted the transformative power of the gospel in developing nations, citing European and American examples where virtues like hard work, productivity, and integrity preached from the pulpit drove national progress. Let's leave it right there, But honestly, I would have taken him out of context if I didn't read it now.
But even then, now that we have the proper context,
right?
Even then, everything he has said is almost like, okay, in an attempt to, yes, I agree that the prosperity preaching has done such a devastating blow on the seriousness of the gospel that Jesus Christ brought to a troubled world. Whether you are paraphrasing the original prophecy by Isaiah, as captured by Jesus in Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 4, 1 to 6, the first 6 paragraphs, where Jesus was talking of the hand of the Lord being upon me or him to set the captives at liberty, to set the captives free, to declare the acceptable year of the Lord, etc., etc. I'm not a pastor.
I'm a better Bible scholar than you? I don't think so.
Well, you can
terrible.
Try and read that out if you can pull it.
I can Google it.
Yeah.
What is it? Look what is it?
Luke chapter
Gospel
4.
according to Luke 4.
Yeah. The hand of the Lord.
Verse what?
Maybe 1 through 6. But where Jesus said, the hand of the Lord is upon me.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can find that real quick. For Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, left the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, where the 40 days he was tempted by the devil. He ate
after that entire thing.
The devil said to him, if you are a son, okay, this is the testing. This is the testing.
No, we're talking of where after the entire test, he went into the temple and he was given the scroll to read.
Okay, Jesus returned to Galilee in the power of the Spirit, and news about him spread through the whole countryside. He was teaching in the synagogues, and everyone praised him. He went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and on the Sabbath day he went into the synagogue, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found a place where it is written, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me."
What chapter is this? What chapter is this?
That would be verse 8.
Thank you. Now read on.
The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor.
Anyway, I was paraphrasing Revised Standard Version. Essentially, it's the same thing. Now, of everything that Jesus has said there, the essence of the church, the foundation of the church, is this what OSINBAJO said? Is it reflective of any of this?
Yeah.
Because if the youth, like he wants them to the way he would want them to go, then the leadership in Nigeria has no business condemning the peaceful protest that took place just recently. Because you want your youth to be productively engaged, to be conscious of their citizenship and own it. You want them to be proactive. You want them, these are people you would want to recruit into the military right from age 16, 17, 18. They are good enough to die for a nation. You don't want them in leadership capacities. You begin to ask. And when they also want to make their voice known, you tag them, armed robbers, you call them all kinds of stuff. The way of the cross, the calling of the church, is not as easy as our privileged leaders would want us to believe. And before OSINBAJO would even say all this, are they giving us full disclosure as to how much he made from being vice president of Nigeria? The youth will ask him all this. Is it that plain that he went to Market Square to be distributing cash and all that? And from what we know now, a proper account will never be given. And youth,
never,
in their vibrancy, would want to know. And you want to know, you are tagged. Is it about end power that's supposed to be a way of lifting people out of poverty that was woven around somebody's personal media empire? It used to drive the agenda of one person's vision in the media, and then you tap in end power. It's leading you to end power, wire service, and what have you. That's what OSINBAJO spokesperson did. They would want to recommend to you, they will tailor you towards what they want you to say, not capturing the essence of what Jesus would have wanted you to do. If it's that easy, would they be able to take it when the youths come? Yes, we don't want prosperity preaching, but you leaders in Nigeria must also stop stealing the people's
example. They need to start leading by example instead of just.
This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
Jesus rode on donkey. You want to fly airplane?
A brand new private jet.
Yeah, with all the carbon print damages.
Yeah.
No, let us talk about Jesus. Let us talk about him. But we must talk about him in the radical fashion Jesus would want us to talk about him. Not some. Yes, he's a complete tone down of the situation.
So that's another angle. I didn't see it from there, but that's interesting.
Oh yes.
Leaders,
everybody is an expert on everything. They will teach you journalism. They will teach you church dogma. They will teach you everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the examples is what we
nice
need to be
try.
seeing. Not so much talk. Not so much
That's
talk.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
All right. We've done another one in the bag. Do us a favor. We're growing. We're now up to, let me just share the news, 167 subscribers. 167 subscribers. That's the whole world. We can touch the whole world. All you have to do is help us hit the like button, share, subscribe. Do it religiously. Okay? Do it like your prosperity depends on it. I'm just kidding. But
Well, yeah. Well, please, by way of conclusion tonight, let me quickly chip this in.
Sure.
I want the leadership in Nigeria to understand that nobody wants that country to go under. No, I mean, the beauty of democracy and nationhood is in the fact that you are not ignored. People are given constructive suggestions and criticisms, and when the criticisms you think may be malicious, born out of ill intentions, may be the one that you will embrace that would transform things. Let us slow down for each other. Beyond that, in conclusion, there have been attempts, and this will break people's heart. All that we are doing to make sure that there is good governance, even at traditional level of our institutions in Nigeria, the national rulership of a thing. I have tried to alert the officials of the government, including the governor, to the shenanigans of people who try to send contract killers after me, as a result of which I left Nigeria in October of 2022. I still would have loved to come back, even as I'm talking to you. An irresponsible so-called imam of the central mosque in Ayedogbe was saying that was telling people that he had put fatwa on the head of his of the generations of his children, not me.
Jesus.
Because what can he do to me? That place is my birthplace. It's a kingdom where I'm the number 3 royal figure. If I go there, somebody would have to bend for the other. But that is not my mission. My mission is to make all of them, even if the imam has been receiving bribery from Olori Olufumi Oluyede, he should be more responsible. And he has been taking bribe anyway. And Onshebola turns their son. We brought the father to Ayedogbe originally, and he assisted my daddy's second wife to plaster her house, 1978. I was there. Not be say they tell me.
Wait, who's your daddy's second wife? Say that again.
Your grandmother.
Thank you. Go ahead, continue.
Very wealthy woman. So now, this is a young boy. This young boy who has grown a beard like that of what's it called? Desert mullah. Going around with a blick, a pan that will not touch the ground. Developing a terrorist cell in Ayedogbe, saying, this boy talks and his voice is always louder than the loudspeaker, like somebody who has swallowed vacuum cleaner. And he had the temerity to say that if I come into Ayedogbe, fatwa will be. I don't know where they get this funny idea. Ayedogbe, Yoruba land, you want to do your fatwa? Maybe you should first go to Afghanistan or elsewhere. Because when I come to Ayedogbe, every trace of fatwa, all this foreign nonsense that is exciting all of you, you have to go and volunteer a statement before the government. And I'm including Nuru, Eleron, all of you galvanizing support for what is none of your business. You are not members of the traditional council. You are not part of the royal council in Ayedogbe. So because you are bribed money, you bring a ram to the holy house of God, the mosque, and then you say you are passing fatwa on yourself. Where did you get that power, that authority? I'm coming for all of you. I will be mentioning each of you, including Onoja. the one that is suspected of Oloro, that was suspected of murder in Kogi State that escaped to Ayede Ogbese, who destroyed and looted the farm of a late Canon Faboyegu, who should be in prison. He too is working money around that I should be caught and killed. Anyway, when I come back from exile, all of you must have died. It's a curse. And you are getting that from the royal stool of Odopetu. Behave yourself, set your brain. And Mr. Governor, under your watch, under your nose, a terrorist cell is developing in Ayede Ogbese. Don't wait until I begin to compile the list of these people and submit to American government before you take action in Nigeria. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, please. Please hit the like button. Turn up your notifications. Let's let everybody know we're having a conversation here. Thank you so much, High Chief. Hopefully you guys have been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Chinye, Natu, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you so much.
On the next one.
I appreciate it. God bless. Good night.
Take care. Bye.